All right, y'all. So we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day, we get this John chapter 5, verse 39. Sir, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And when you will not come to me that you might have life, I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Allah in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. But another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe and receive honor one of another and seek not the honor that comes from Allah? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. But had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? We're going to take a diversion before we go back to Proverbs 15:25. Y'all willing next week. But swing over here to Proverbs 18 and 20. Eugene, fix your face. Fix your face. Or you don't want to fix your face. So you want to walk around here with the scrunched up face. What's going on, man? It says a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Does any of you have any idea what that could mean? That a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Y'all got an idea what that could mean? I got three things to share with you. One ain't got nothing to do with the word. There are others do. Y'all got any idea what that could mean? Romans chapter 3. See, this is going to go back to what we've been talking about when we were talking about the issue with Kobe Bryant and things of that nature. I see more people arguing about it this morning some more. You know what I'm saying? Steady saying that same stuff. You don't know. You don't know if he went to hell or not. Like I say, it's not the issue about him going to hell or not. It's the issue that do you understand the word or how one is justified or how one is not justified? That's the point. It's not about him. He's irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, to be quite honest. Romans 3 and 1. Look and see what it says. Sire, fix your clothes, close your legs. What advantage have the Yahudim, or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because unto them were committed the oracles of Elohim. So let's pause and let's take a look at Psalms 147, every Hebrew's favorite location. Psalms 147. Where do I want to begin? I will pick it up at verse 1 and I'll move my way around. Because verse 1 is not every Hebrew's favorite thing. But it's various different things in here to be able to coincide with what we're talking about in Proverbs 18. Because it said, man's belly shall be with the fruit of his lips. So we have to look at that. We have to understand that. And it says that and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. That word for increase translates to actually product or revenue or profit. Matter of fact, before we read Psalms 147, pardon me for that. Matthew chapter 12, by verse 33. Dang. Yeah. Matthew chapter 12, matter of fact, make it 31. And this is in regards that you got to watch what you say out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You know, in Proverbs, I think it's 30. It tell many people have thought of saying evil, and if it come up, you know what he instructed you to do? Close your mouth. We'll read it for you so you can see, but just hold on. Matthew chapter 12, verse 31. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men. But the blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh shall not be forgiven unto men. Whosoever speak a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speak against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt. The tree is known by its fruit. Now look at what he told you. The first thing he said the tree is known by its fruit. That's why I mentioned that to y'all. Like, so a lot of brews don't want to deal with this because the man played basketball. But the niggas who selling books that taught you about serpent energy. You look up Kundalini energy and you ask me, is that the fruit of Elohim? He would be known by this. Most people don't know that. Most people in that sphere are Buddhists, Kabbalists, or Scientologists. Now he went to Catholic Mass, and look how they tried to play it up with you. He gave his life to the Lord that day. Well, white man, how you know? And if you know the word, I don't care how they feel. I know what Mass means, right? As far as Catholic is, but they have a black Mass. Y'all know what black Mass is? Basically, that's a day of death. It's a service of death. You know what I'm saying? And the black Mass coincides with witches. So when you see them saying Catholic Mass, witchcraft is actually being executed. Let me get that for you. Some more information in that regard. Huh? On Mass. And specifically the black Mass. It's been a while. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. See, they want to so the dog gonna move. This is they say it's a parody of the Roman Catholic service, and it's a part of satanic rituals. And you can find it in any satanic ritual book. How many of y'all familiar with what's that book he wrote? Hey, what's the name of that book Lester Crowley wrote? No, the one that he's known for. The name escapes me. No, he wrote a book. Whatever the book is that got do as you will in it. You know what I'm saying? That's the basis of Shalom is the Satan. You know what I'm saying? How many of y'all familiar with Anton LaVey? Anton LaVey was the head of the Satan's church in like the 60s or 70s. I forget. Yeah, he proclaimed to be a Jew. He definitely did though. He's before y'all time because he was an entertainer, a good one too. He used to run with Frank Sinatra, who was a piece of crap, but that's another conversation for another day. You know, he died when I was a kid. They had made a big deal. They had his funeral. He was one of the few black people that had his funeral on TV, like live. You know what I'm saying? They love Sammy Davis Jr., but he was down with the Satanic Church. And he had another dude. His name was escaping my. He was a Spanish cat. I think wow. His name escapes. Oh, you don't know who that is? Oh no, I heard. He was kind of y'all know who Gregory Hines is? You know, he was a tap dancer. Gregory Hines was, and Sammy Davis Jr. was kind of like the forerunner of what Gregory Hines did. Have you ever seen the old Cosby Show when they had a tap dance routine? You know, Gregory Hines was the one on that, if I'm not mistaken. No, he had no dreadlock. He was a clean cut man. Yeah. Gregory Hines been dead for a long time. Yeah, he's been dead for a long time. But when you look at mass, that's why they say black mass. It's a parody. But in history, mass means death. You know, Catholic. Y'all know what Catholic means, right? You know what it means? It means universal. So when they call themselves the Catholic Church, they call themselves the Universal Church. So you go to Catholic Mass, you go into universal death. You know what I'm saying? Besides the fact that how many of y'all have actually been inside a Catholic Church? I thank the Lord, I have not had that opportunity to be defiled in such a fashion. Ain't nothing but idols in there as soon as you walk in the door. Shoot, there's idols outside the door, truth be told. As soon as you pull up in the parking lot, they got Astaroth right in the parking lot. They got ISIS right in the parking lot. Because you know the Catholic Church, they venerate Mary. They supposed to pause with it. You know, these people actually pray to the Virgin Mary. Now ask yourself, why are they praying to a dead woman? But you say you followers of the way. This is known now. He told you by their fruits, you gonna know them. Now the children knew this. You know what I'm saying? The children knew this because they knew off the top what? You don't worship no other gods. You don't pray to nobody else. Well, let's continue in Matthew chapter 6. So that's what he told you. By the fruit, you gonna know them. Remember who recalls the Hebrew word for fruit? Oh man, he said he was brought up Catholic. That's rough. Christianity rough, but probably Catholicism probably the roughest one of them all. You know what I'm saying? Because they get inundated with idols all the time. So you get in most Christianity, you know, especially black Christians, you just get inundated with stupidity and showmanship. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas get inundated like you walk in here, you just talk to get rosary beads, clutch and pray to them. Niggas burning candles in the house with this patron saint here, this patron saint there. You know that junk had you all messed up in the head. Not to mention that you go confessing to another man who might possibly, play with your genitals later. Yes, they do worship the Black Madonna. Certain high-ranking Catholics do bow down and worship the Black Madonna, but it's really worshiping ISIS. That's who they venerate. That's their god, the mother goddess. That's why a lot of brews or a lot of Christians affiliate the whore of Babylon with the Catholic Church because of the goddess worship. Catholic Mass and Kobe Bryant was venerating goddess worship before he passed. That women can play basketball with men. Just like you know, it's a female coach in the Super Bowl. And do you know this bald-headed bullbagger had the nerve to say that she could be a head coach in the NFL? You already know they got a woman who they trying to make a head coach in the NBA. Becky Hammonds, they trying to set her up to take over. Ask yourself as a man, which one of you niggas would want to follow this woman in the battle? Like I said, niggas they said to me, he had me dying laughing though. This is the truth. What could a woman tell you about running routes? What could she tell you about blocking? What could she tell you about being a linebacker? What can she tell you about reading the defense? She can't even read her own thoughts right because she's a woman who wants to be a man and tell men what to do and dress up like a man. See, this is the type of stuff you got to look at. Is this the fruit of Yahuwah? Dang, he said they prayed to a sundial. Oh, they praying to sundial statues and crucifixes. Oh yeah, I understand.
Yeah, from that perspective, they definitely brought more stuff to the school.
I mean, they just more well known, but shoot, that junk really everywhere. Because y'all know, if y'all not aware, the Catholic Church created Islam. How many of you were unaware of that? Yeah, they created it. See, and when I say they created that, let me clarify what I'm saying. The religion that you know as Islam had already existed. But in its present form that you know it now, they formulated that. See, you know, it was just Chinese New Year, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, the NBA always does a big old thing with that. You know what I'm saying? Or with their New Year. Yeah, the Lunar New Year. You know, because they worship Allah. Allah is really another goddess. See, there's statues of the daughters of Allah. Allah predates what you call Islam. Before there was quote unquote, what they did with Allah is they just put him together and made him one deity because those people in that region worship a god for every day of the week. They had 360 different deities. You know what I'm saying? And then they just merged them all and made him Allah. I remember a long time ago, man, I was talking to the Arab dude at the stove around there where I stayed at. And he didn't deny nothing I said until I told him Muhammad wasn't a prophet. He was ready to fight. When I told him your God fake, your religion, faith. He ain't had no problem. He said, yeah, we got 360 items. Yeah. I say, Muhammad ain't no prophet. What you talking about the prophet Muhammad? I say, what you want to talk about it? Pull your Quran out. Let's look at it. He did. I did it with a brother one time at my homegirl house. He wanted to fight. I say, bro, how you want to fight me by what your book say? How you say you believe in a book and you don't even know what it say? You know what I'm saying? And you mad with me because I'm telling you in the Quran, it say that the prophethood and revelation was given unto Isaac. I say, sir, who do they say Muhammad come from? Ishmael. So your own book say he ain't no prophet. So what you reading it for? See, bro, you disrespectful. All right. That's what he told him. He wanted to fight too. I was still smoking weed then, so I just blew smoke out my mouth. You get mad then. Roll me another dude. You know what I'm talking about? I used to talk about what you talking about, nigga. You know what I mean? But seriously though, they worship 360 deities. Like I said, it was the daughters of Allah, and they merged it. Y'all know about the Kaaba stone, right? That's really Saturn's cube. You know what I'm saying? So basically, when you deal with the Babylonian Vedic system, because that's what it is, they worship phalluses and vagina. You know what I'm saying? That's what they work. Anytime you see a nigga walk around with an arm, I guarantee you right now, he worship coochie and he could be a punk. What your boy say? Rakeem Fatah, he was all armed out, and you see what happened with him. She around here talking about your junk all hanging out, bust open like a grapefruit. Dead serious, because when you get to the end of it, that is even when you look at Egypt, when you look at the pharaohs, they were androgynous. Y'all know what androgynous is, right? You don't. Androgynous is someone that they're gender fluid. You don't know if they're a woman. You don't know if they're a man. You familiar with the wrestler Goldust? Goldust is an example of an androgynous character. Yeah, Prince is another example of an androgynous individual. They made Goldust for the specific purpose of being that way. And Dustin Rhodes was actually willing to go as far as get breast implants to further that character. This man told him, nah, I mean, I'm with some wild stuff, but I don't need to go get the tip. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I mentioned that with the non-binary, because that's what they're trying to get you to, is to be gender fluid, to be a hermaphrodite, because Pan is a hermaphrodite. Anytime you see that Baphomet go, you see he got a titty, because he's male and he's female, because they venerate genitalia. That's why when you go to DC and you see the Washington Monument, that's the penis, and the pool is the vagina, because that's what they worship. You know what I'm saying? That's why they like to participate in sex magic. Why you hear about them having wild orgies in these in Hollywood circles. Because it's not quote unquote sell your soul to Satan like stupid people want to sell it to you at. It is full-fledged veneration of deities from antiquity and the rites and rituals that run along with the worship of those deities. That's what it is. Nobody just wants to come out and say that. And the purpose of it is to influence others to rebel against Yahuwah as they have. You know what I'm saying? This is why Satan will, in the personage of individuals, so I say Satan meaning the adversary, uses other people as conduits of the adversary to get you to do things that are abominable in the eyesight of Yahuwah to get you cut off. See, because you can commit it. See, and this is the thing, right? In Numbers 14, what did Yahuwah swear in his wrath? Do y'all know what Numbers 14, what he swore in his wrath, what he was going to do? Cut them people off. See, and you can make yourself so abominable that Yahuwah will swear in his wrath, I'm done. See, somebody say, you don't know if he got a chance to hear the truth or not. I actually seen a woman say, if he didn't hear the truth, he's not accountable. My homeboy tried to come at me with that. I say, nigga, where you read that at? That if you don't hear the words, you not. I remember a girl a long time ago, right? She was like, don't tell me. Because if you tell me, then I'll be accountable for it. It's people who really believe that. That as long as they don't know, then they're not accountable. Oh, you still accountable. Who knows why you still accountable according to what's in this book? Romans 2 tell you that. He say those who perish without the law. They say those without the law will perish without the law. Those who sinned with the law will die with the law. Now, why did he say those who without the law will perish without the law? Why did he say that? Y'all sure we don't went over it before. Now, not Genesis necessarily. The Canaanites. Did the Canaanites have the law? What did I mention about last night? When you take territory, what you got to do? You got to go to war. So you know what really the purpose of that war was? It was twofold. I need my people to come in here and slay the Hittites, the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Hivites, not only to take this land, but what did he say them people was in there doing? Committing all these abominations. You better not, because the land will spit you out like it's spitting them out. So it's twofold. I need to get my people this land, and I need to get these sinners up out of here, because I'm tired of them. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have no law. They didn't get a chance to hear, thou shalt not be a homosexual. But they was hitting bombs. They didn't get a chance to not worship idol, but they were worshiping Baal every chance they got. Nevertheless, Yahuwah got him out of there. He got him out of there. Put it this way: in 2 Kings 17, did them people get a chance to hear the word when they moved in the land and he started sending lions through there? He said, they don't know the man of the land. Yahuwah didn't say, oh, they don't know I can't kill him. He wouldn't kill him. Somebody asked and say, what can we do to stop it? They said, we got to get some priests. They don't know the man or the God of the land. He didn't get it talking about they're not accountable. They didn't hear. Play that game if you want them. You'll be lifting your eyes up in the air. But I didn't know. He said, I know you didn't know, but you know today. See, that's a cop out and an excuse. You know what I'm saying? See, actually, as you know from Luke chapter 12, Yahushua say the penalty is worse for you when you know it don't do. You know what I'm talking about? He says it's worse when you know and you don't do. It's still going to be bad if you don't know and you don't do. He said, but it's even worse when you know and reject. Nevertheless, 12 and 34. O generation of vipers. This is Matthew 12 and 34. How can you, being evil, speak good things? For the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. A good man out of the good treasure of the heart bring forth good things. An evil man out of the evil treasure bring forth evil things. But I say unto you that every idle word that they shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by your words shall you be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned. So now you can see what Proverbs 18 and 20 is leading for. See, a man be satisfied by the fruit of his mouth. Well, he just told you that an evil man only gonna speak what? Of evil things. And see, we don't get to determine what's evil. And we don't get to determine what's good. Who has already done that? Return to Psalms 147. Psalms 147 and 1. Well, what you got, a whole thing of barbecue sauce? Psalms 147 and 1. Praise you, Yahuwah, for it is good to sing praises unto our Elohim, for it is present and his praises coming. Yahuwah do build up Jerusalem. He gathered the outcasts of Yasharal. He healed the broken in heart and he bind up their wounds. He tells the number of the stars and he called them all by their names. Who knows what that means? He tells the numbers of the stars and calls them all by their names. First off, who are the stars? What does it mean? That is the sons of Elohim. It literally tells you that that word stars literally means of Mashiach and his breath. It's literally what it means. I meant to grab the word for tail and hit stars. Tail is manah. It is the count and the record, and that's where you come in at, which what you mentioned. I want y'all to go ahead and look at that. That's mean, noon, and hey. The word is manah. It's the count, the record, the number, to a point, to prepare. Mean, noon, and hey. So he reckons or he counts the number of the sons of Elohim, and he called them by their names. Now that word for stars is kokab. That's going to go back to something that I mentioned briefly last night in Limitations, and we're going to go back and grab it again about his anointed. Mean, noon, and hay. What y'all got for that? Mean, noon, and hay. Manah. Yep. Meme, noon, and hey, what y'all got for that? Mana. Tell. Boy, ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Well, who you singing to? I'm trying to find this other verse, and I know I'm reading right over to it. So he didn't mention that since ain't nobody else. No, he didn't mention that. Yahusha is that power of that mighty seed. So why is he that mighty seed? Seeds of many, but seeds of one, and that seed being Hamashiach. Because let's look, what did he tell you in John chapter 10? What he do with his sheep? No, I'm talking about what he say with his sheep. What does he do? He called them by name. He called them by name. What did he do with Lazarus when he rose him from the dead? He called him by his name. Let's look and see that in John chapter 11. 11 and 38. John 11 and 38. Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself, come to the grave. It was a cave, and the stone lay upon it. Yahushua said, take you away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said on him, Lord, by this time he stink. Okay, Saran said to reveal the Ruach of the Son. Same difference. Same difference. Because you reveal that Ruach, and there's one thing for certain, that Ruach get revealed, and you gonna know. He probably just used the double. 11 and 38. Said, Lord, by this time he stink, for he's been dead 4 days. Yahushua said unto her, said I not unto you that if you would believe, you should see the esteem of Elohim. Now keep that in your mind. If you would believe, you see now we can be able to go into the other point of what I mentioned about the three heavens. See that's it? See how that's what we call a nice segue. But let's continue. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Abba, I thank you that you heard me, and I knew that you hear me always, but because the people who stand by, I said it, that they may believe that you have sent me. And when he had thus spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Now, do y'all remember what he said in the book of Revelation, the names that Yahushua said he would do if you overcame? Y'all recall what he said he would do with names? Give you a new name, which no man would know except the person who he gave it to. Let's look at that. Revelation chapter 2, I believe. Revelation chapter 2. I pick it up at verse 12. Dang, that voice. Revelation 2 and 12. To the Malachim of the synagogue in Pergamos, write, these things saith he which hath a sharp sword with two edges. I know your works and where you dwell, even where Hashatan's seat is, and you hold fast my name, and have not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelled. But I have a few things against you, because there have you there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the sons of Yasharal, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. So have you also them that hold the doctrine of Nicolaitans, which thing I hate. Repent, or else I will come unto you quickly, and I will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath ear to hear, let him hear what the Ruach saith unto the synagogues. To him that overcome will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knows saving, he that receiveth. Now, wouldn't it make sense? Now, let me ask y'all this question here, right? For the most part, I'm talking to the men in this regard. When you call your son, you call him by his name, or you just say, hey, boy. You know what I'm saying? Because it would make sense that a father would call his son by his name. Now, why would you call your son by his name? Because you know him. Why you think of Mashal said that in Matthew 7, right? Depart from me, you work of iniquity. I never knew you. I don't know your name. That's why I always mention that point with the evil spirit. When the people were casting the spirits out, he say, Paul, I know. Yahushua, I know. But who are you? I don't know your name. That's why he say he reckons, or he gives account of the number of the stars, or he knows them and calls them by name. Because he reckons that these are individuals of his household. You could always call the people of your household by name. That's why he say, my sheep, I call them, and I call them by name. He knows them. Come over here to Genesis chapter 1. And we'll dip that third heaven thing right now. Genesis 1 and 6. And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which was above the firmament, and it was so. And Elohim called the firmament heaven. And evening and the morning were the second day. So, do y'all know what's contained in what the scriptures call the firmament? Y'all know what's contained in it? What makes it up according to what science says is made it up of? I'll give you the definition of it. The word is rakah. It's an extended surface. It's an expanse. It's the firmament or the vault of heaven supporting waters. Bruce considered it to be solid. So that's why when you see Bruce who believe the earth is flat, they show that globe over the top, like a snow globe. Because that's how they believed it to be solid. Now, Yahuwah didn't say it was solid, but that's neither here nor there. Basically, it's the base or foundation of heaven. They put it in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? But they describe the heavens as having what? 3 elements, right? Toposphere, the stratosphere, and the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't believe that those people are able to crack those. Some don't believe it because they believe it's just like a solid wall that you can't come through. You know what I'm talking about? Now you've seen, I don't know if some of y'all done seen how they got it split, but take a look at this here in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, what Paul said. 12 and 1. Now, it's two people that we read in the text got caught up in heaven. Who are those two people? The book don't say Enoch got taken up to heaven. Say he was translated and he was taken. Yeah, and the Lord. Elijah and the Lord. Matter of fact, before we read 2 Corinthians 12, let's go on and look at it now. 2 Kings chapter 1. No. You have no Methuselah just died. He mentioned who it was, and most people ascribed that to Enoch. But it said that Enoch was not, and he was taken. No, it don't say that he got taken into heaven, but we can read about Enoch as well. Indeed. Yeah. We look at it. 2 Kings chapter 2. Excuse me. 2 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1. And it came to pass when Yahuwah would take up Elijah into heaven by a whirlwind, that Elijah went with Elisha from Gilgal. So let's look at whirlwind and let's look at take up. Take up is Allah, and it is to ascend and it is to climb. To be taken up, to be brought up, to be taken away. Of course, you know that whirlwind is the cloud, which is Sa'ar, which is a tempest, a storm, and a whirlwind. Elijah said unto Elisha, tarry here, I pray you, for you who has sent me to Bethel. And Elisha said unto him, as Yahuwah live and as your soul live, I will not leave you. So they went down to Bethel. Now, we could drop down because we're not going to read everything that went along with that. Verse 11. It came to pass as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven. So let's look and see what that tells us. So a chariot of fire appeared. That word for chariot is Rekev. A chariot. Simple as that. Rosh, Kaf, and Bat. You can go ahead. Rosh, Kaf, and Bat. Rosh, Kaf, and Bat. We still holding Psalms 147 and Romans chapter 3.
Raj, Kaf, and Bot.
Kaf and Bot. Say that for me one more time because I'm reading something. I hear you. You say to live in it. I can roll with that. So it's like this here to be allowed in the son's house, in Elohim's house. When you look at that's what that chariot going to do. Why is that important? Because what does Thessalonians tell us? And the brother just says, Sharonda said the same thing, to be lifted to the house of the highest. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're looking for. To dwell in this house. So think about that, right? He could take it into heaven. Now let's read about Enoch in Genesis 5:24 and see what it says. Well, 5 and 20 and 21. Genesis 5 and 21. Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begat Methuselah. Enoch walked with Elohim after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. All the days of Enoch were 365 years. He walked with Elohim and was not, for Elohim took him. Now, when it say, and he was not for Elohim, it just say Elohim. What it says is Kanak, Alak, Elohim, Elohim, Lakak. Lakak is simply to take, to fetch, to lay hold of, and to receive. So if we was to say he got taken into heaven, we would be inferring. Like it don't say that directly, like it said with Elijah. Like it directly says Elijah got taken in. Of course, you know what Elijah's story was pointing to, right? Y'all know what that points to, right? No, it would point to Pentecost. Because he told Elijah asked Elisha, what do you want me to do for you before I depart? He said, let me get a double portion of your spirit. He said, you don't ask a hard thing. He said, but nevertheless, if you see me when I depart, I will do this unto you. But if not, no. And when he got taken up, Elisha was right there. And then it said the sons of the prophet say, truly, the ruach of Elijah is resting upon Elisha.
I say took him.
I mean, it just said that he fetched it. That's what top means, to fetch or to receive or to take. You know what I'm saying? It's just how they translate it. Truth be told, and say that because that's what God told Moses, and that's what Moses wrote down. Hold on, I get you all the definition for it. I mean, that's about all I can take. Anything else would just be my opinion. It says to take, to get, to fetch, to lay hold of, to seize, to receive, to acquire, to buy, to bring, to snatch, to take away, to carry along, to capture, to seize, to be taken away, to be removed. That doesn't necessarily refer that he went to heaven. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. Not saying he didn't, not saying he did, but based off the translation of what's written there, no, you just can't say he got taken to heaven. Because Lakak is the same word that we use when the Benjamites had to lay hold on them girls in the field, when everybody swore that we ain't giving no wives to Benjamin. Because they wanted to stand up for sodomites. You know, that's what got Benjamin in trouble. Not just the fact that they was punks there, but that they wouldn't deliver for them to be judged. You took up for them. And that's why Romans chapter 1 say, not only do you do them, but you know that they were their death and you were the same judgment. That's why I had them come through and kill all of them. Since you take pleasure in niggas raping people and want to be sodomites, how about you get that same sword? 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. It is not expedient for me, doubtlessly to esteem, I will come to visions and revelations of the Lord. I knew a man in the Mashal above 14 years ago, whether in the body I cannot tell, whether out of the body I cannot tell. Elohim know, such a one caught up to the third heaven. Why do you think that he said in the body he can't tell or out of the body? He said he had a vision and he couldn't tell if he was in his body or out of the body. Now, who can answer that question? Why? It's an easy question. It's an easy answer, too. It might not seem that way off the top, but it's an easy answer. I'm going to read that verse again. I knew a man in the Mashal above 14 years ago. Whether in the body, I cannot tell. Whether out of the body, I cannot tell. Elohim know, such a one caught up to the third heaven. And I knew such a man, whether in the body or out of the body, I cannot tell. Elohim know. Or do I keep some more? Maybe this will help you out. And how he was caught up into paradise and heard unspeakable words, which it is not lawful for a man to utter. Now, the question that has to be ascertained, that's true, he is having a vision. But the question is ascertained is this. Why did he say whether in the body or out of the body, he cannot tell? And what is the difference of having a vision in the body or out the body? Now, I mean, you have a vision, you have a dream, but I'm trying to be specific as possible without telling you what it actually says. That is the answer to that question. And I'll show you why. Come over here to Ezekiel chapter 8, and I'll show you out of the body. That's correct, sir. That's the right answer. That's what I would, because if I'd have been too split, I'd have gave it away. I was trying to give enough the way y'all can follow without giving it away. Ezekiel 8 and 1. And we're also going to look at Ezekiel chapter 1, and then we could go look in Revelation chapter 10. That's why I say he couldn't tell. The reason, the key point is Elisha saw Elijah get taken up into heaven, and it was in the body because he saw it physically. But we're going to look at how Elijah saw things in the Ruach, because the Ruach took him and he saw these things. It was outside of the body. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll add the part in John, because that's going in, opening up heaven and hearing unspeakable things not lawful for a man to utter. Y'all do recall that, right? What he told John, right? He told him, no, don't write that down. He said, it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in my house, the elders of Yehuda sat before me, a hand of, from the appearance of the loins even downward fire, and from his loins even upward as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. So what is he looking at? Is he in heaven or did he die? I mean, shoot, as far as the text say, he got taken up, but he said everybody done died. So it's one way or another, he transformed, what do you want to call it? Physical forms. But the text don't go into that type of detail. What do you think Elijah is looking at? I mean, Elisha is looking at. I mean, Ezekiel is looking at. He's looking at an angel. Reason why I say that, because what did he say about his angels, right? The Psalms. He said they ministers of fire. That's what he's looking at. That's who came and got him. Because remember, it's the angels that are the ministers unto the heirs of salvation. And they take you to give you the message. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah ain't getting off his throne to take you to show you anything. You know what I'm saying? This is why Hamashiach say no man has ever heard the Father's voice or seen his shape or form at any time. See, because that's different for most women. Like most women hear that now, but that's the part of the patriarchy or the leadership. The king don't get off his throne to do menial tasks. That's what I got servants for. You know what I'm saying? See, that sound rough. Indeed, Seraphim, that sound rough to a woman in these days, because in scripturally and in antiquity, a woman was considered to be a servant. And she was a possession of the man who she was married to. You know what I'm saying? So you live in a different time, so to hear that type of verbiage, that sounds offensive. People will call that oppressive. But truth be told, anything that has structure and order and a chain of command, people consider that to be oppressive in this day and time, because you really want to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to operate in them. That's why a lot of people don't want to, when you hear some people tell stories about being in the military, because the military has a chain of command and a structure and an order, and you will not buck it or they will remove you. So you're not going to come in here and think you're going to come in here and do what you want to do. Because they got somewhere for you. It's called the brig, and they're going to throw you in there and let you stay in there. You ain't going to go in there and run their organization. They will not allow it. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah is not going to allow you to come in and run his organization. He's not going to allow it. He will remove you first. And as a man, you supposed to know that ain't nobody supposed to come in and run your organization. Your organization has a structure and an order that's been decreed from heaven. It's supposed to be operated as such. But like I say, that sounds rough. Because do you think you just sit back and look at it, right? Do you think Yahuwah should come off the throne to do menial tasks? Would you respect him as a king if he came down off the throne and did menial tasks? And that's why they didn't respect Yahushua when he came off the throne, because he was doing quote unquote menial tasks. That's why they looked down upon him. That's why they couldn't fathom and understand that Elohim came down to serve them. They couldn't grasp it. They couldn't grasp that Elohim came down off the throne and sacrificed himself for them. They couldn't grasp it. That's why they missed it. Because they were looking for a king to do what? Kingly things. But they didn't understand that kings serve also. But they don't serve in the fashion how people think they want. See, if you look at it just in the terms of just in the general sense, a woman wants the man to come serve to do the things she don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or do her job for her, and not necessarily. See, your job is your job. See, Yahushua didn't come down here and do your job for you. He came and served you as a king is supposed to. But he didn't come and say, let me do this for you, or do this for you, or do this for you, and that's your responsibility. No, your job is your job. It's your job to put that reefer down. It's your job to stop lying. It's your job to not beat your meat. It's your job to not commit adultery. I'm not going to come down here and do that for you. You got to do your own job. I came to do my job. And that's the difference. But let's continue. Verse 3. Listen what he said, right? And he put forth the form of a hand and took me by the lock of my head, and the Ruach lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of Elohim to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looked towards the north, of the image of jealousy which provoked the jealousy. Look at where it said it took him between. Now you think he was in the flesh? He was outside the body. I'm just mentioning this here so you can understand why Paul said what he said. Whether in the body, I cannot tell. Whether outside the body, I cannot tell. Back to Ezekiel chapter 1. Not back to, but to Ezekiel. I'm trying to see where I want to start it at. Verse 1 is sufficient. Ezekiel 1:1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Chebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw the visions of Elohim. Now, let me ask you this. Stephen seen heavens open. Was he in the body or outside the body when it happened? He was in the body. Daniel, when he seen the visions and Gabriel came to him, was he in the body or outside the body? We read that last night. He was in the body. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because he said he fell down like he was dead. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to think of somebody else. Samson's parents, when they saw the angel, were they in the body or outside the body? They were in the body because they said they thought that they were going to what? They thought they were going to die.
You fall into the dreams.
I mean, dreaming you in a sleep state, but you still in the body. Right. Ezekiel was wide awake. You know what I'm saying? Paul, and remember we read that because remember it said, right, we know that's in the body because when Daniel heard Gabriel, what did it say? It was other people with him. And they couldn't hear the voice, nor see the vision. That's why Paul said, I can't tell. Whether when he seen this individual, whether he was in the body or out of the body. Now we have to understand it to know it, but the people, when you actually experience it, you may not know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's exactly because Paul's situation is like Daniel's. There were people,
they know they were awake because of that point. I'm thinking like when you say like
see, you don't necessarily get a vision and be asleep. You know, just because you get a vision don't mean you sleep. Because he's in the vision and Ezekiel was wide awake. He wasn't in the sleep state.
No, I was just saying from the example, if he was to take you outside of the body, you wouldn't know.
No, you wouldn't know if he was asleep. Yeah, but a lot of times like you said, he appeared to you in a vision or a dream. So he could come to you in a dream, and that's just him appearing to you in a dream. But a vision, just like with Daniel or Paul, you're going to be walking down the street, and he just manifests. Like, check this out, and nobody else can see it.
How you said he wouldn't know if it came to hear it. That's how.
No, he talking about Paul saying, I can't tell if I was physically there and seeing this, or if he took me in the Ruach and I seen this. You know what I'm saying? He said, I can't tell.
You fall asleep and he take you in the Ruach. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, he said he couldn't tell. I don't know.
Because if he take you in the Ruach and you awake, you get back in your body, you would feel like you're dreaming about it.
Yeah, you gonna know because
yeah.
You know, like the point is though, even like because Ezekiel don't reference, like none of these people reference that, but we know that it's from example, from understanding. When Paul say this, whether in the body, I can't tell, whether outside the body, I can't tell, because how we can tell is through understanding. We know he grabbed you by that ruach, or you outside your body. Your physical body didn't go up between heaven and earth. How ain't nobody gonna see him? So how was he able to see all that with carnal eyes? Impossible. You know what I'm saying? There's no way, because he said, son of man, look at him over here. Son of man, look at him over there. They got their backs to the temple. They doing this, they doing that. He was outside the body. You know what I'm saying? He outside the body.
All right. What thing that come on the holiday time?
Oh, what? This is Wonderful Life.
Scrooge and all that. Yeah, heck yeah.
That's probably where they get it from.
How pretty much like the angel come take him, show him other parts. Yeah.
Give him a little vision. Let's continue. Ezekiel 1:1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the cattle by the river Kebar, that the heavens were open, and I saw the visions of Elohim. And in the And in the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Joachim's captivity, the word of Yahuwah came especially unto Ezekiel the priest, son of Buzi, and the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kebar, and the hand of Yahuwah was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud of fire enfolding in itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Now, what's the difference? Because y'all remember what Ezekiel chapter 1 is about, right? Y'all remember what that's about? What that's about? Anybody on here remember what Ezekiel chapter 1 is about? We can go through it right now. I can tell you that. The coming of the Lord. That's what he was seeing. You know, Ezekiel seen a lot. Ezekiel was given a lot of information. Mainly a lot of the information that Ezekiel was given was for the time of the end and mixed in between. You know what I'm saying? We've seen that from reading Ezekiel 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38, and 40. He gave Ezekiel a lot of information about a lot of things.
That's what I need to look at. Yeah,
it could be. I have no answer.
I know when I used to read I tried. You gotta have understanding.
That's right, Alicia. That's right. Yeah, you do gotta have understanding when you're looking at Ezekiel. Ezekiel is talking about in chapter 5, you leaving out of Jerusalem in 70 AD. You know what I'm saying? He talking in chapter 13 about the people worshiping the idols and the destruction of false prophets. He getting Ezekiel chapter 20 and go to telling you how, hey man, you're gonna live by if you keep the word, you're gonna live by the word, like Yahushua told you in John 6. Then he talking about how you gonna get delivered, switch it up in Ezekiel 30 and go to telling you about the sacrifice of Yahushua, the same thing he tell you in chapter 28, 27, 26. You know what I'm talking about? Talk about the wrath of Edom, if I'm not mistaken, in 25. Turn right back around and tell you about you being delivered and the chief shepherd coming to deliver his people in the 34th chapter. Tell you about repentance and the giving of the Ruah in Ezekiel 18 and 33. Turn around in 35, the beast. 36 tell you what he gonna do for his land, because y'all done defiled it, got my name out here dirty. 37 tell you about the resurrection of the dead and you bringing you back in the land. Then he tell you what he gonna do after Satan get released from his prison. How he gonna kill everybody dead who rise up against his people because they resting with the Lord. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. You know, a lot of people acknowledge Isaiah as probably being the strongest because it's a lot of quote unquote messianic prophecies in the book of Isaiah, but it's just as many, if not more, contained in the book of Ezekiel. But let's continue. Revelation chapter 6. I definitely see why somebody be 10 and 1. I can definitely see how somebody be thrown by it. Like, I'm not reading this here. I remember sitting down with a nigga, what they were about 2011, and showed him what Ezekiel. He's like, I've never heard that before. I'm like, I don't see how he missed it. But you know, I ain't know no better at the time. You know what I'm saying? I thought that this stuff was just apparent to several people. Clearly, I ain't know too many brews at that time. Now, at that time, I ain't know too many brews. So talking to this nigga, I'm like, how y'all niggas ain't caught that?
I think the biggest thing was, like you said, how they jump. It can be saying one thing, this chapter.
Oh, that definitely be off.
Yeah, I didn't find what it's going to. Yeah, like say you can't read that. Yeah, you reading that thing on.
Yeah, because Ezekiel 12, he talking about the Lord getting sacrificed. When he's telling them, eat your bread with quaking and pick that steak up and carry that burden on your shoulder. He go to boom, boom. And then Ezekiel 11, he go to telling you about he gonna give you a sanctuary for wherever you dwell at. And you know what I mean? Yeah, 9, he tell you about how he gonna seal you up. But Revelation 10 and 1, listen what it said. I saw another mighty Malachim come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, as a rainbow was upon his head, and his face as it was the sun, and his feet were pillars of fire. And he had in his hand a little book open. And he set in his right foot upon the sea, and in his left foot on the earth. And he cried with a loud voice as when a lion roared. And when he cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven, and swore by him that lived forever and ever, who created the heavens, and the things that are therein are, and the earth, and the things that are therein are, and the sea, and the things that are therein are, that there should be time no longer. So is John in the spirit, or is he in the flesh? I'm gonna be honest with you. Everything John seen, John was in the spirit. And he tell you that when it started in the chapter. So you won't be able to repeat that there. Like, remember, where was John dwelling at? Who knows the location that John was dwelling at? Who knows the name of the island? Patmos. He took John and the spirit off the island of Patmos and revealed to him all of these things. You ain't gonna hear no voices uttered from heaven talking about sealing up no books in the body. I can tell you that right now. You ain't gonna hear that. Why do we know that? Because it said that same thing in Corinthians. He said he uttering words. We'll move on. So that's what it is, Monte, when you look at it. Like people still say, describe it as toposphere, stratosphere, atmosphere, but it's really past the firmament. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain levels of the heavens that you got to get to before you get to Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't really go by how they show us what the heavens or space is, because we're taking sinners' word for it. And we can't take their word for that. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. Our concept of what is outside the earth is conceived from the mind of transgressors and people who hate our God. So we can't trust that to be accurate. You know what I'm saying? Nor can we dispense that to our kids and say that that's accurate. We would have to preface that this is man's opinion of the matter. Because I haven't seen it, and we don't know what they've seen. Because the only way that we can definitively say that is if we had the money to get a rocket and say, shoot me up into space and let me see what happens. Because one of the things that before the word that let me know that people ain't go up there, how is technology more advanced than 2020? And you say you went to the moon in 1969 and you ain't been back since.
Not the astronauts. You believe astronauts?
I don't believe any of them. Why would I believe? What level of credibility would I give to a nation that was birthed on lies? Like that's why I sent y'all that article. How can you trust? Seriously, you can't trust that. They the descendants of them people. And when I say that, meaning those pilgrims who landed over here, or the leaders of those pilgrims, I should say, created and crafted covenants with a group of people of which they broke. Because they covenanted with the indigenous people and they broke them. So that's the foundation of the society of which we presently live in. So it's built upon deceit and chicanery. So I can't trust you when you tell me something, because you have a history. If we was to sit here and go through all the things, Brother Saran said he live in the country and can't get signal to make a phone call, but they can call the moon. Oh yeah, I was on that before the word, but it wasn't no big deal. Like, we used to talk about that junk as kids. Some of y'all might be familiar with the Buzz Aldrin interview when somebody told him he was lying and Cub was ready to thump. They were right in there with it. They tell you ain't no gravity on the moon. Yeah, you can put a doggone hole in the ground and it stay. You said it ain't no wind on the moon, but the flag flapping. Like you have to sit back and see how these people will insult your intelligence. See, the thing is, you know what people get messed up at? You want to go tell everybody else. It's a lie, man. If they can't catch it, it ain't meant for them to be caught. Because at the end of the day, it ain't that serious. It's just serious to the point that you know that you can't trust a known liar. You know what I'm saying? Because if you lie to me about this, what else would you lie to me about? And if it pertains to anything close to dealing with Yahuwah, you can't take it. People don't even follow the book. That same Catholic priest molesting a little boy. How you gonna listen to him? Matter of fact, how you gonna listen to an organization that condones the molestation of young boys? That's before you even get to talking about idolatry. Y'all know that these people are in here touching on little boys. So I can't trust nothing that comes out of your organization. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust any. That's not to say that you lying, but I'm skeptical. I don't believe. What would I believe that's for? What kind of credibility do they have that I'm just going? You see that how we do though? We'll take the word of man ever so quickly before we take the word of you. Man tell you he bit the moon, done shot satellites, the Hubble telescope, and all that, and you believe it with no questions asked. Yahuwah said he created the earth in 7 days and parted the Red Sea and drowned the whole army, and you like, I don't know if that happened or not. But what gives NASA so much credibility that you can believe them? He said, brother, say all the astronauts punch people who question. Like, if I had been in space and somebody questioned me, believe what you want to believe, nigga. I know I went. I ain't got nothing to prove to you. You know what I'm saying? The crazy part is, how many niggas you know actually know somebody who is an astronaut?
There was a girl in college that said
she was one? Sure. But like I said, how many niggas know an astronaut? They even verify that. You know, most of the people who are astronauts, for the most part, they used to be in the military. Most of the time, if you do the research on most astronauts, astrophysicists. Yeah, I mean, you already trained to keep your mouth shut and follow orders and don't break rank. Because 9 times out of 10 is somebody who had get a certain type of security clearance. You know what I'm saying? That you know that you're gonna keep your mouth shut. 2 Corinthians chapter 12. I think we got everything. Back to Psalms 147. We good to go. We pick this up at verse 11. Let me read verse 5 to you in Psalms 147. Yeah, they probably are all Masons. You know, that's neither here nor there. Masons, because everybody that's in a lot of large spaces are not necessarily Freemasons. They may be a part of a fraternal organization, but not necessarily Freemasons. I seen the Shriners got to sell their little Morocco hall. Yeah, they got to sell it. Say they losing members, they ain't making no money. Run down. But that's crazy because that means if they losing members, that only means one thing. The niggas not crossing over past that 33rd degree to become a Shriner. That's the only way you can become a Shriner. Because that's what they call crossing over to the east. Because if you look at a lot of Shriner imagery, it's Islamic. From the fez to the sword to the crescent in the moon, it's Islamic. And you can't become a Shriner until you become a 33rd degree Freemason. You know, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a Shriner. A lot of that's why you notice when you see a lot of Shriners, they're usually old. You don't see too many young Shriners. Does it take a while to get to the 33rd degree? You just don't yeah, you just don't shoot up to the 33rd degree in a short period of time. I remember my physics teacher, Mr. Shepard, he was like, I've been a master mason for 25 years. And my homeboy used to clown him, you only a 3rd degree mason? You been this for 25 years? But he was a simpleton, you know what I'm saying, when it came out.
I
don't know if I've ever seen that. Oh, well. Like whatever that Cecil Powell building downtown with the line in front, that was the old Shriner Hall. That's why they never took that line from in front of it. You know, Jacksonville is a very large hub for Freemasons. You know what I'm saying? No, so you know, some cities are bigger than others, but this city is pretty prominent. Yeah, this is a major hub for Freemasons. Probably why so much wickedness go on in the city. Above average. I used to think that before the word. Like when I found out what that was, like that nigga got a big old piece all downtown. Like nigga, that junk looked like a Roman cathedral from the ancient times. You know what I'm saying? That junk used to told me, you know what I'm saying? And then I just started noticing this Mason halls everywhere around this hall. You know what I'm talking about? Like big and small. It's a Mason hall right over there when you get off the exit, off Arlington Expressway off the Matthews Bridge, and you make that loop to get on University. There's one right there. Well, it's one on Atlantic right next to a Greek Orthodox church. That one on Lim Turner that's just sitting there like it ain't nothing. Yeah, it's one on the one by the library on University. Right? Well, I done walked past it and seen them niggas in there juking and jiving. I said, I'm gonna mess with these niggas. I said, no, I'm gonna keep on walking. Pretty much. Ain't no tech, but you'll catch them because I done caught them in there plenty of times. Well, I done caught them niggas in there so many times. Oh yeah. No, decent. It's one on Pearl. It's one on Pearl. Eastern Star. I mean, truth be told, like it's an Elk Lodge on Blandon, which is the same type of thing. Like it's the same type of stuff, but it's just done different. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, because American Legion is a fraternal order, but it's not Freemasonry, but it's a fraternal order. No, that's for people who've been in the military. Yeah, like you know, my daddy was a member of the FOP, and the building right over there on Beach, and the FOP logo is the prophet. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I was going to say that the FOP logo is the same as the Eastern Star, so it's just fraternal organizations. And you know what I mean? Because it ain't no different than everybody you knew that joined a fraternity in college. Same type of thing. And just because you in it don't mean you don't be a Freemason. But just because he a member of Skull and Bones don't mean he's a Freemason. You know what I'm saying? It's just a part of that organization. People just make those assumptions that come from YouTube videos. Because most people don't know what any of these people are members of unless you get your hands on a Freemasonry roll, which is very difficult to do. Or unless an individual tells you who he is, or you see him guard in Freemason regalia. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't finna walk around with no Freemason regalia on and not be one. I remember my homeboy, we was out there one time, dude had a Mason ring on because he found it, and that nigga was like, man, bro, you gotta take that off. He was like, well, you gotta take that off.
Yeah, she gave my brother a pocket watch. He threw it away,
because if they catch you, that's no different in the game. Like you walking around with that flag on and you don't know the proper answers to whatever they ask you, they're gonna check you on that. True story. He can say you straight. They can say whatever the case may be. Don't your song. You ain't part of this game. You ain't nigga. Ain't nobody proud of you. Ooh, Lord, let me move on. The nigga right teach me to shimmy. You need to know what that nigga did to shimmy. Type of nigga learn to shimmy. What happened before he learned? See, you don't want to know. Those are secrets you don't want to know. Junk scare your soul. But at the end of the day, though, all jokes aside, in all seriousness, though, no matter the fraternal organization, because they do it in the mob, you know what I'm saying? They do this type of stuff. Like I just seen China Max say to join the gang he was in, they had him drink chicken blood and some other animal's blood. What you can do, see if you can be trusted. Yeah. They said no matter what gang, fraternal organization you join, They do that to see if you can be trusted. Because if you'll do that, then they figure we can trust you. You know what I'm saying? Period, point blank. Because he was saying something which I totally agree with, that if you 30 years old joining the game, nigga, you lame. You know what I'm saying? That's something you grew up with that. Like, because he was saying why he didn't join the Bloods and Crips while he was in prison. I wasn't raised by him. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no Bloods and Crips in my neighborhood. It was, I think he said, the Ghost Dancers or whatever the gang was. He was like Asian gangs. Because he ain't talking about in prison. I already know, man. People become Muslims and join gangs in prison for protection. He get 35 years old talking about he a Blood. Come on, my nigga. That was his point. Because I'm from Jacksonville. Ain't nobody in Zone 3 was no Blood or no Crip. So me becoming a Blood and Crip at 25 when I went to prison was absolute. You know what I'm saying? I knew jits who claimed they were folk nation when we were young. Hey, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody on that. That boy is out of there. Look at him. He sleep like he in the class. You know what I'm saying? The teacher said, wake up, boy. You answer this question. We're going to leave him alone. Psalm 147:5. Great is our Yahuwah, and of great power. His understanding is infinite. Yahuwah lift up the meek. He cast the wicked down to the ground. Sing unto Yahuwah with thanksgiving. Sing praise upon the harp unto our Elohim, who cover the heavens with clouds, who prepare rain for the earth and make grass to grow upon the mount. See, that's another thing what he did with the firmament is he hanged a curtain, like it said in Isaiah 41, if I'm not mistaken. Might be Isaiah of the sons of Elohim, which is symbolic of names being written in heaven. You know what I'm saying? Because he called all the stars by name. Guess what? He tell a star to drop out of the sky. Guess what it's gonna do? Do what his daddy tell him to do. And that go back to what I mentioned last night. Like I said, I was telling my homeboy, like the way of Yahuwah is born. If you're looking for something flashy and exciting, this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't for you. You know what I'm talking about?
You think the star for like literally star for everybody written in the country?
I would say that's a reasonable assertion to make.
That thing came in my head. I was driving one night. I was like,
Even the
rainbow stars.
yes, it's clearer. Because me and her had that conversation. Yeah, because when you somewhere where it's clear and you can really see the sky, because you know a lot of times because who that was? Osai said that. Osai said it's daytime. I say, what you mean it's daytime? Ain't no sun out. Say ain't no stars in the sky, so that means it has to be daytime. I say no, they're out there. You just can't see them. You know what I'm saying? But oh yeah, if you in the right spot in the right time, especially if you ride through the country, oh yeah, it lit up.
City light. Oh.
Yeah, the city lights definitely. But guess what?
I said that because I think because those things don't stand the country. So if we look up on night, you know, you
See those stars.
Versus if you really in the middle of nowhere,
you see them. Being in prison in the middle of nowhere, you see them. You be like, what's a lot of stars like that? And those stars are symbolic for the sons of Elohim. And he said he called them by name. That's symbolic of every person whose name is written in heaven. Every one of them stars is representative of the son of Elohim. Every single one of them.
That star in Job, he said, can you see the star come out in this season? You know what I'm talking about? He said in Job, like, a certain star come out in this season.
Oh, no, he was talking about conflict.
Yeah, but that goes on like, if we did stay in the country, you'll be able to see that happening in the sky.
I mean, yeah, because in antiquity, most people traveled by the stars if they traveled at night. Because very few people traveled at night. And ancient antiquity, but they travel based off the stars.
Underground Railroad. Stop following north.
Yeah, matter of fact, we can look at that. Matthew chapter 2.
Man.
And I got to make sure I get to the key point of what we started on. Make sure I'm in the right place. I might be in the wrong chapter for this. I think it's Luke. No, Matthew 2 is fine. 2 and 7. Now let me ask y'all this here. What allows a man to become a son of Elohim? What does he have to do? And to be born again, remember what we mentioned about that word. You got to hear that word. What did Ezekiel and John both do? This hit my mind earlier this morning. What did Ezekiel and John both do? Ezekiel and John share a common experience. Not just that, but they shared a common experience. Ezekiel chapter 2 was in 1. John, Revelation 10 was the up. They ate that roll. And when they ate that roll, what did it say that roll was like in their mouth? But what did it say what it did when it hit their belly? No, it said it was bitter. Why do you think it was bitter? Why do you think it said that roll was bitter when it hit their stomach? All that. And I got a question for y'all. That too, but I got a question for y'all. What's the number one way that Yahuwah uses to humble a man? What's his go-to to humble a man? What's his go-to to humble Yasharal? What's his go-to? Tribulation is a little different, and suffering is a little different. But he got one go-to when he want to correct you, humble you. He used wickedness to bring you down. When you sit back and you look at anybody who's been humble, wickedness is what. What did he say that the wicked were for in Psalm 17? He said the wicked are his sword, did he not? Now, when you look at who humbled Yahushua, what humbled him? It was wickedness, because it was envy, it was jealousy, and it was pride. Anybody who you see when he talking about humbling you, like what did he use to humble Manasseh? Wickedness. What did he use to humble Yasharal? Take you into captivity? It'd be wickedness. So he used wickedness to humble you. You know what I'm saying? Not you participating in it, but bringing wickedness on you so you will humble yourself under him. And you notice with Ahab, he bring no wickedness on Ahab. You know why? I don't fool with you. I don't fool with you because I don't want to humble you. See, tribulation and suffering is a part of it, but it's the byproduct of him bringing evil, quote unquote, to humble you. Because when you get into something like that and you face that, then you're only gonna have one option if you got sense. You're gonna have to turn to him. You're gonna have to turn to him. At the end of the day, in the last days, who he gonna use, what he gonna use to humble us? It's gonna be wickedness. That's gonna be wickedness to humble you. To say, boy, we got to return back to you, our Elohim. Boy, we've been tripping. Because what did he say those people would not repent for? After he brought all that evil on them, they say they still ain't gonna stop worshiping their gods. They still not gonna stop committing adultery. They still not gonna stop telling lies. That's how he chastised. He used wickedness to chastise you. You know what I'm saying? Because you know why he got to use wickedness? So you can need to see the disparity between the two. So you can say, you know what? It's better for me over here. Indeed. Matthew chapter 2 and verse 8. And he sent them to Bethlehem and say, go search diligently for the young child. And when you found him, bring me word again, that they may come and worship him also. And when they heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. So what was this star that they seen? That was a Malachim that directed them and took them to that child. It's referring to it as a star, but we know a star is the son of Elohim. You should know that from Job 30. It might be 39, where he say the sons of the morning star sang for joy. Because they sons of Elohim, just like we are. The sons of Elohim, just like we are. They day stars.
I was going to add that. So from what I have researched, stars, the constellations, like you were saying, stars that exist. You got what they call the planet. It's like the stars that literally move. They don't move in a constellation. They move. And you know how they don't use like
oh yeah, you can see Saturn today.
Yeah. They stars, but they not moving like stars.
Yeah, they fixed.
They're not.
But I ain't looking into what they got to orbit out because I don't believe in people.
No, yeah. I'm not saying they got overtime. I'm just saying that.
So I'm telling you, I never took the time to look at it because I didn't believe it.
Word-wise.
Oh, word-wise, when it say planet, it translates to constellation. So what we would call a planet, the word doesn't speak.
No, I'm just saying. I'm looking at that. I seen Google Star. They's Malachim, though.
I mean, are you talking about literal stars in the sky? Are they Malachim?
Thinking like the ones that don't move in no orbit like the constellation. Now, we can look and see the constellations move in orbit.
Well, I put it to you this way: you have what we would call stars, which are literal lights in heaven, which are literally just that. But in this situation, that star that was directing them, it appeared as a star in the sky to them, but it was a Malachim that was directing them. It directed where Yahushua was at. You know what I'm saying?
I'm asking you as far as the stars that are not fixed.
I mean, I can't speak on that because then I'd be speaking above my pay grade.
I'm saying word-wise.
I would be speaking above my pay grade. I can't speak on that because I would be speculating. The word don't speak on that.
But it's stars out there that's not fixed. That's free room. Practically, those planets are not fixed. But they still say they fixed, so they supposed to move around the sun. Yeah, but now that's, I don't know.
And again, that's something that we cannot verify.
Yeah, but I know they don't move like
And like we could discuss before, every planet, quote unquote, is named after a false deity except for one.
That's where they get that understanding that these are gods, they're not moving. No.
Because at the end of the day, what they call planets is them worshiping gods. Because remember what he told you, they worship the creation and not the creator. You know, I found that humorous when I got in the word and found out like them people smooth with it, ain't they? Let's go up here and name all these planets after Egyptian gods, if you will, because that's what they did. That's exactly what they did. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at a video dude talking about like Planet of the Apes. I didn't even know Mark Wahlberg was in a Planet of the Apes. I ain't never even seen that. But she had a Poseidon mark in her hand. You know what I'm saying? And that's who Neptune is. You know what I'm saying? Which is that's who Aquaman is. Aquaman is Neptune, who is Poseidon, whoever he is in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? That junk all be around you. And they see that's the things that you let it know. Like them people go too hard and quote unquote popular culture, naming stuff after deities for you who are not to be real. They go too hard with it. For you who are not to be real, they go too hard with it. Because that's too much. That's way too much effort to put a name of a false god on every single solitary thing that you can come up with.
The mermaids ain't nothing but Osiris. That ain't nothing but.
Yeah, and that comes from Homer, the Greek Odyssey. Pure trash, long book, waste of time. No white folks love it. Trash. Man, that's a long book. I couldn't read that junk. I threw that junk away. Junk ain't even in the tank. Minotaurs.
No, they hid.
Oh, you talking about the no, he talking about Helen. He talking about Troy.
Yeah. Oh, that's in that book, right?
That's part of that.
It's part of it.
Oh, that's a separate book? Yeah.
It did. It did. Trojan horse, that actually happened. Yeah, that actually happened. Homer's Odyssey, yeah, was just something out of a nigga's brain. But the Trojan horse actually happened. Achilles is the Greek mythology.
That's the story. The story is Achilles.
Yeah, I say he made, but you know, it's probably a little mix of truth and fiction. But Achilles is referred to as a demigod.
Yeah. No scientists refer to something like that.
Yeah, that's what it's named for. Achilles is named for him.
That's why I thought.
Yeah, he's an example of what I was talking about last night about idols becoming rivals because the gods of the Greek pantheon ended up being rivals with men. And a lot of mythology. Yeah, he did. Old serpent boy. This nigga, Ron got this nigga tattooed on his thigh. Yeah, he got a nigga tattooed on his thigh, talking about mama for life. She got a snake with his numbers on it, with a rose in the background. Sweet booty nigga. Type of nigga get a thigh tattoo, much less of another man. I don't care who just died. That nigga hard. No sweet booty nigga. Shoot. Get a nigga tattooed on your thigh. Nigga, that's gay. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't get no tattoos at all. But you know what I'm saying? But if it was permissible, getting a thigh tattoo for a man is unacceptable. One, nigga, that. Number one, a nigga got to be real intimate with you. Man, okay, man. See, that sounds like a nigga who want a thigh tattoo.
No, you said the nigga gotta be doing it.
Well, who? Ain't too many people going to no female tattoo art.
I wouldn't know.
I ain't know because I wasn't never into tattoos. But I see grown niggas got lower back tats. Nigga, you know what I'm talking about? Nigga got a tramp stamp. Grown husky nigga. I mean, it's rare though. You don't hear too many dudes say that. A lot of them ain't that nice though.
I ain't never heard it.
Yeah, they ready to give you good work. I ain't never heard a nigga in my life say, "Boy, I met this raw chick on the tattoo." I know a lot of chicks say they do it. I ain't heard too many niggas brag on them though. That's my point. I ain't heard, but boy, I know this chick. What she mean with the tats, boy? I ain't never heard a nigga say that in my life. I ain't saying that it ain't none. I just ain't never heard it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never hear a nigga recommend, boy, I know this chick, boy, she get you right. You know what I'm saying? That time they get them tattoos, boy. You know, leave that junk alone. But that nigga got, and he got the thing is, is he literally, he just didn't get, that nigga literally got serpents tattooed on his leg. The tattoo is a serpent. That's telling. That's telling. And you know, LeBron, he's a detention whore. So this nigga had his shorts on with the plastic over the tattoo, so everybody could know it. So he could, no matter, they don't let it breathe. No matter what the situation is, that whole nigga gonna make it out. Yeah, he had it some way, somehow. The attention had to get on him. Bro, the nigga had practice with some blue sun shorts on so everybody can see he got a COVID tag.
Yeah, he do that.
Mm-hmm. He wanted a nigga to play some hands. Definitely.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I mean, it's LeBron for you. We finished in Matthew chapter 2. We good to go. I just saw. Let's pick this up at verse 18. It says, he sent out his word and melted. He caused his wind to blow and waters flow. He showed his word unto Jacob and his statutes and his judgments unto Yasharal. If not dealt so with any nation, as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Hallelujah. So he said he gave his word to Jacob. Let's go back to Romans 3. Let's pick it up at verse 1 again. From Romans 3 to John chapter 6. It says, what advantage have them the Yahudim? Or what profit is there of circumcision? Much every way, chiefly because unto them were committed the oracles of Elohim. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Elohim without effect? Elohim forbid. Yea, let Elohim be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, that you may be justified in your sayings, and you might overcome when you are judged. I want you to go get Numbers 23 and 19. Let me see if Psalms 116 is going to work with what we got going. It will. Get you Psalms 116. There we go. Psalms 116, picking up about verse 5. Numbers 23 and 19. Ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Elohim is not a man that he should lie. Elohim is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Have he said it, shall he not do it? Or have he spoken, shall he not make it good? Now remember he said a man to be satisfied by the fruit of his lips. So notice that he said Elohim is not a liar, because that's what he just said, right? Let Elohim be true and every man a lie, that you might be justified in your sayings and might overcome when you are judged. So you can only overcome and be justified by the word. This is how a man is satisfied with the fruit of his lips. That's why he say you'll be judged for every word that come out your mouth. This is my point with the situation around Kobe Bryant, what a lot of people talking about. You're not justifying this man according to the word. You're justifying this man according to how you feel. Because he can only overcome when he's judged by holding to the word. This is why he said that a good tree is known by its fruit, and a corrupt tree bring forth evil fruit. And the tree gonna be, you can't be a Yahuwah talking about things contrary to Yahuwah and say we don't know if he gonna be saved or not. And if you believe that, you ought to go to hell right along with it. Because you calling Yahuwah a lie. You can't turn around and say a woman can do what a man can do and say that's a Yahuwah, because Yahuwah ain't never said that. Just like he ain't never said a man can do what a woman can do. Because that's what the world telling you. Oh, it's unfortunate. They woke you from your slumber. Psalms 116. Verse 5. Make it fall. Abigail. Muffin Man. Muffin Man. You hear me calling you, boy. Psalms 116 and 4. Then I called upon the name of Yahuwah. Oh, Yahuwah, I beseech you, deliver my soul. Gracious is Yahuwah and righteous. Yea, our Elohim is merciful. So that's what you want to do. You're eating carrots. Didn't know you enjoyed those. Yahuwah preserved the simple. I was brought low and he helped me. Let me get y'all this word for simple. Now the word for preserve there is shamar. So that's God that he keeps. The word for simple is pathé, and that's someone who is naive or foolish or open-minded. So you know how the word says you got to be open-minded. No, not necessary. You don't want to be open-minded. Ain't that right, Muffin Man? Let's continue. Return unto your rest, O my soul, for you who have dealt bountifully with you. For you have delivered my soul from death, my eyes from tears, and my feet from falling. I will walk before Yahuwah in the land of the living. I believe, therefore have I spoken. I was greatly afflicted, and I said in my haste, all men a liar. Notice that he said he believes, and therefore he has done what? So how you believe, but you ain't speaking about Yahuwah though. Now notice what he said he believed and what happened before that, right? He said, Yahuwah has delivered my soul from what? From death. So come over here to Romans chapter 10. We'll get John 6 in a moment. Come over here to Romans 10, probably about verse 8. Romans 10 and 8. But what say it? The word is not you, even in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. that if you shall confess with your mouth the Lord Yahushua, shall believe in your heart that Elohim raised him from the dead, you shall be saved. For with the heart the man believe unto righteousness, and with the mouth confession is made unto salvation. Now let me ask y'all this question. We don't necessarily have to go read it. When John saw Yahushua, what did he say? In John chapter 1, when John the Baptist saw Yahushua, what was his statement? He said, there is the Lamb of Elohim which does what? Take away the sins of the world. So by the fruit of his mouth, he gonna be satisfied. Let's take a look at some of those words in Proverbs 18 and 20. Say, a man's belly shall be satisfied. First thing we'll look at belly, you got Bat, Tet, and Noon. But 10, of course, you know that's the seat of your mental faculties, or your heart, if you would. Say, a man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his lips. You got Bat, Tet, and Noon. Sun contains life. Anybody else? Because that's about what you're gonna get. You can say the sun contains life, or we can sit back and look at the generosity of the sun is eternal life, or the grace of the sun is eternal life. Because he said a man's belly shall be filled. Notice what it says, right? A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth. Let's look at satisfied. Stop it. Satisfied is Sabah. Shan, Ba, and Ayin. Proceed. You're satisfied. You're fulfilled. So notice what it's telling you. A man's seat of his mental faculty shall be fulfilled with the fruit of his mouth. Now, in order to be justified, now we can look at this here, right, and being specific to see how Yahushua was satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, based off the words that he said, that he might have been justified in his sayings, that he could overcome when he was judged. That's why you can see the second half of the verse, and the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Because increased is tavoah, which is your product or your revenue or your gain or your income. Lips should be Lashon. No, lips is Safah, which is your language, your speech. And that's Sean Pay and Hey. What y'all got for that Sean Pot name to be fulfilled?
Generosity? That's generosity, right?
No, that's for fulfilled.
Oh, I would say the experience the consumption of the sun.
Indeed. Or we could look at we could also say conversion in the soul. Or being joined, because if you conversion something in the soul, you're being joined, or you're joined to the consumption of the sun. Either way, same thing. Mm-hmm. So when we look at being fulfilled, so in order to be joined to the sun, to be fulfilled, because you're looking at the word being fulfilled, and it says that A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his lips. Yahushua said what? By man's word shall he be justified, and by man's words he shall be condemned. I'm trying to think of the location that's in my head right now. I'm trying to remember. It's in Psalms, I believe, where he say, of your righteousness and your righteousness alone will I mention. In Psalms 40, he sit back and he tell you about how he say he spoke your word amongst the great congregation. So let's look at how I was satisfied with the fruit of his lips. Let's take a look at Matthew 16, I suppose. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Because I just want to sit back and mention a couple of things that he actually said what happened to him. And then John chapter 6. That's how you sound, cuz. Oshkosh, little boy. You look like a rabbit. You happy? Okay. Then he charged his disciples. Matter of fact, back in number 13. When Yahushua came into the coast of Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? And they said, some say that you are John the Baptist, some Elijah, others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. He said unto him, but who say you that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, you are the Mashiach, the son of the living Elohim. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Baruch are you, Simon Barjona, for flesh and blood have not revealed it unto you, but my Abba which is in heaven. And I say also unto you that you are Peter, and upon this rock I'll build my house, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Even in this instance, you see an instance of Peter's belly being satisfied with the fruit of his lips, because he confessed the righteousness of Elohim. And then, of course, he was increased because he said he would be the rock upon which the house would be built, and that the gates of hell wouldn't prevail against it. Now, of course, we know behind this, Yahushua told his apostles what was going to happen to him. He was telling that he would be killed, but that was the key point. Not just him being killed, but that he would what? That he would resurrect. Because remember, a man's belly going to be satisfied with the fruit of his lips. So if his belly is going to be filled or can be contained with the generosity of the house, or the generosity of the head, or the generosity of the son was filled with the generosity of who? His father. Remember what he said in John 12 and 49, right? My father gave me a commandment, what I should say and what I should speak. And I know his commandment is life everlasting. See, the only way that you can be justified and overcome is by the word. Psalms 116 said, what again? I believe, therefore I have spoken. That's why I said that the other day when my homeboy was like, you don't know if somebody got the spirit, the lie you tell. The lie you tell. Because what did Yahushua himself say about the Ruach would do? He said it would bear witness of him. Now, Psalms 116 just says, I believe, therefore I've spoken. That means I'm going to tell it. And this ain't in regards to just going around preaching. That means I'm going to tell it. Paul, take it in this instance. Jonah. What did Jonah tell them people when they came to him when he was on that boat? Who knows what Jonah told them people? Yeah, before they threw him out. No. He did exactly what he was talking about. Let's look at it. Now, he told him something. He straight snapped on the people in a nice way. Abigail, what your problem is? You was that happy to come back from the trash can? Jonah chapter 1, verse 5, verse 4. Liddell, Jonah 1 and 4. Yahuwah sent out a great wind into the sea. There was a mighty tempest in the sea, so that the ship was like to be broken. And the mariners were afraid, every man unto his God, and cast forth their wares that were in the ship into the sea to lighten them. But Jonah was gone down into the sides of the ship, and he lay and was fast asleep. So the shipmaster came unto him and said unto him, what mean you, O sleeper? Arise, call upon your Elohim, if so be that Elohim will think upon us that we perish not. And they said everyone to his fellow, come, let us cast lots, and we may know for whose cause this evil is upon us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell upon Jonah. Then they said unto him, tell us, we pray you, for whose cause this evil is upon us. What is your occupation? Whence come you? What is your country? Of what people are you? He said unto them, I am a Hebrew. I fear you, who are the Elohim of heaven, which have made the sea and the dry land. See, if he didn't believe, guess what he would have done? He would have denied it. What did Yahushua say what would happen to you if you didn't deny him before me? What he said he would do. So if you believe, guess what you're going to do? You're going to speak on that. Does that mean you run around believing you or no? But guess what, though? Nigga gonna know. Is it anybody who knows you and on a regular basis that don't know you serve Yahuwah? Is it that? You know what I'm saying? Now, how would they know that? You would have to tell them that. You know what I'm saying? You would have to tell them that. So how is this person who's famous, who got cameras in his face, and don't nobody know if he believed in Yahuwah or not? And you expect me to believe that, and you say you know the word, and the book say, I believe, therefore I have spoken. You know what a nigga hit you with? Well, it's a what's the term they use? It's a personal relationship with our Lord. Get your stupid butt out of here, nigga. Man ain't never said nothing to you about no personal relationship. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I mean, it's according to them, he was Catholic. Yeah, they said he was at Catholic. That's why I mentioned that. They said he was at Catholic Mass before he died. No, I don't know how he got to church, but he got on the helicopter from church. All right, I don't know how he got there. You know what I'm saying? And they say he gave, and the Catholic priest saying he gave his life to God today. What God, nigga? What God? It's many gods. What God? That was no. That's the story. Again, you got to understand something. It's a story. It's a narrative. At the end of the day, these are real life characters in a real life motion picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're characters. And truth be told, when they're ready to move on from a particular character, they write out the script. And they either write him out the script by ceasing his life or by causing something to remove this person from the public eye. But they write him out the script. You know, they just did this. See, you was thinking they were going to do something to Antonio Brown, and guess what he popped up and did last night? ESPN interview. I want to apologize to the whole NFL. Jump popped up in my YouTube feed last night. Got a notification for it. He was on there with Josina Weave Anderson, because she have a fresh weave every time you see it. Her and Carrie Chandler. Oh, but Pam Oliver, them ain't weaves. Them Pam Oliver. Pam Oliver look like, and her husband is a former NFL player. So I know he might have a little change. I mean, you've been on Fox for 20-something years. You know what I'm saying? Her husband used to play safety for the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? I remember I had a football call. It threw me when I was like, because Pam looked like a lost horse. But that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying? And them weeds don't help it out. Lost horse. She looked like Mrs. Ed. You know what I'm talking about? And them weeds just make her look so much worse. So much worse. I'm like, I know Fox paying you more money than that. I know you can afford a better wig than this. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, they're right. They get you out the script. That means if they got Antonio Brown after he done got out of jail talking about everything is my fault. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they reprogram him when they send him to this mental health counselor. You know what I'm saying? To get him back online, and he'll be running up and down somebody's field next season.
Hit him with the flash.
Hit him with the flash. Had to bring him in for a little too. Jiggle the knob. Because they did that with Kaepernick. They wrote him out the script. They did that with the workout. Write you out the script. You won't hear about Kaepernick no more. Yeah, they write you out the script. They don't always kill you to write you out the script.
They don't come out right.
Because what was ill was I was in the gym, like I told you, I heard Tracy McGrady say this man, Kobe Bryant, said, I always wanted to die young so I could be immortalized. And if that nigga said that, you are a vain, idolatrous man, to say the least. If that is accurate. Does Tracy McGrady have a reason to lie? No, he does not. But what type of man sits around and has that type of thought? I want to be immortalized. Only somebody who worships at the altar of self. I don't care if he said it when he was young or when he was old. He was a weirdo pastor. You know what I'm talking about?
Like,
Oh no, I mean it's still weird though. Yeah. I want to be remembered as a God. But you know, this is normal. If you pay in a lot of movies, they promote that heavily. Dying young and being immortalized as a deity. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know a lot of people say that. Now it's 24. We play Kobe. All of a sudden, he got it. Nobody, a damn nigga ever wanted this man to be the NBA logo. Now all of a sudden, they want him to be the logo. Yeah. He said, brother, say, somebody said MJ did an interview after his supposed death. I'm not. I see stuff, I see it. A lot of stuff I don't catch. You know what I mean? But you have to look at that. Remember, right? What did we just hear? What did Yahushua say? The abundance of the what? The mouth what? Now, if he uttered those words, do those words justify him or condemn him? I condemn you. Because now what did he say, right? He that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. I mean, the word flow right on out of it. Your thoughts ain't flowing out of you. That word flowing out of you. Somebody sit back and like this here, right? Somebody sit back, you say you believe in Yahuwah, you serve Yahuwah, and don't nobody know. This ain't like the raggedy hoe you messing with. You don't want nobody to know. The fat chick, you've been hitting on the late night, you don't want nobody to know. You can't keep Yahuwah a secret. It's impossible. What did Jeremiah say when he said he wasn't gonna talk about Yahuwah no more? Y'all know what he said? Jeremiah said, I ain't gonna talk about Yahuwah no more. You know what he said? He said his word like a fire in my bones. Couldn't keep my mouth closed. I had to speak. Remember, right? Was Hananiah justified in the sayings? Did he overcome when he was judged? No, he didn't, because he was around that line, teaching rebellion. The only way you're going to be justified and be satisfied, your belly be satisfied with the fruit of your lip, is the word of Yahuwah got to be coming out of it. That one got to be coming out. Does that mean, like I said, doesn't mean you walk around saying Yahuwah? I don't be one of them cornball niggas like them niggas on the internet. That means every time you look at a situation, you judge it by the word. Every time something come up and somebody add, you speak it by the word. You know what I'm talking about? When somebody say, who are you and what you believe? I'm a Hebrew. I serve Yahuwah, the creator of heaven and earth, and the faith of his son. That's what I do. What you do? You can't be turning around talking about you or Yahuwah, you sitting back like this here. I like to have sex with men. Because you got dudes who preachers who say they believe in the Bible and they homosexuals. I know they got transgender preachers out here somewhere. Atlanta or San Francisco, guaranteed. And look at it, because they promote it. They want you to be able to get it done. They want you to cut off your privy part. But that's what saying no. If I can get you to convince you to be a man and you a woman, then you're going to be doing the things that pertain to a man. You're going to be an abomination. He's going to reject you. If you're a man who want to be a woman and I can get you to get gender reassignment surgery and you'll cut off your stones in your private part and you'll be cut off from your hood. All the while teaching that to your children. So maybe they want to grow up and say, Mommy, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. And I'm going to boy your butt out the front door. Because you're going to be a boy on the outside of this door. That's what you're going to be. You know what I'm saying? That joint just caused confusion. That's why they call Babylon what? Mystery Babylon, the great whore. Because Babylon means confusion. Confusion means disorder. And Yahuwah is not the author of confusion. Yahuwah is not the. If you run across anybody that likes to deal in confusion, chaos, disorder, you gotta flee. Type of nigga that be like, I like for life, anything can happen. That nigga's weird. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to deal with anything can happen type nigga, anything can happen type nigga, have you locked up or dead. Had you smoking crack? Because he said, anything can happen. It's Wacky Tuesday. Some days we smoke, some days we smoke rocks. Who knows? You got to have that consistency and that discipline, tried and true, every single solitary day. It ain't fun, but it's beneficial. John chapter 6, right? 6 and 54. He said, whoso eat my flesh and drink my blood have eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eat my flesh and drink my blood dwell in me, and I in him. And as the living Abba has sent me, and I live by Abba, so he that eat me, even he shall live by me. That is that bread which came down from Shamahim, not as your Abba's ate, did eat manna, and are dead. He that eat of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they heard it, said, this is a hard saying. Who can hear it? When Yahushua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he says, does this offend you? What if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Ruach that quickens. The flesh profit nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are Ruach and they are life. Now, one thing we can sit back and see, right? Yahushua spoke the word everywhere he went. He speak nothing other. So when he told them people, I will suffer and raise for the third day, he was justified in his saying. Why was he justified in his sayings? Because he didn't say nothing but what the prophet said before. Because what did he say to his apostles when he rose from the dead? He said, you know what? You fools are slow and hard to believe everything Moses and the prophets has said. And beginning at Moses, he expounded it in all the scriptures, speaking of himself. That's how he was justified. See, you can always be just, that's why if you know you're going to resurrect the dead, some people are calling arrogance or pride because you can speak boldly. Didn't Paul say I ought to speak the word of Elohim boldly as I ought to speak? Did not the Apostle John say that if our hearts are confident, we can be bold in the day of judgment? You're supposed to be bold. How are you going to be justified by the word of Yahuwah that endure forever and you ain't bold in it? If you know you standing in the faith and you obeying his instructions, you have the ability to speak boldly. You know what I'm saying? You can look somebody in the face and say, that ain't got no power over me. That ain't none of my concern. Because you know the average, nobody's going to know what's going to happen to you. You don't know what's going to happen to you. You can speak for yourself. I know what's going to happen to me because I'm going to endure. I'm going to hold fast to the faith. You're supposed to have that level. How you serve Yahuwah and you unsure about what your end going to be? Now ask yourself, how many righteous men in this book you've seen were unsure of what the end was going to be? How you going to be unsure when you being justified by the word of which is coming out of your mouth? Remember, he said, I will make mention of your righteousness and your righteousness alone. This is why Paul said they go about to make their own righteousness and not submit to yours. That's why I told you nobody like to talk about the gospel, because you got to talk about the Lord at this point. You can't talk about yourself. Right? He overcame the world, right? 1 John 5 say, who is he that overcome the world? But he that believed that Yahushua is the son of Elohim. This is the victory, even our faith. How do you believe the son that Yahushua is the son of Elohim? Because you believe on him as the scripture has said. You believe on him as the scripture has said, then you're going to confess that he's the son of Elohim. Which means you would have to know what Genesis and Malachi is saying, and you believed it. Which means you did what Ezekiel and John did. You ate the roll. It was sweet to your taste, but bitter to your belly, because you knew that there would be sufferings. The book tells you in Ecclesiastes chapter 2 that it's a lot of grief for those who have wisdom. A lot of grief to them. Because you understand the way of the world. You understand the ways of you understand the way of man and what's going to go down. You understand? But it's sweet to your taste because it's the everlasting word of salvation. Because you know the flesh don't give you no gain. First way he say the flesh profit nothing. You see how he say in the increase of his lips. That's your produce. That's your revenue. Your revenue's coming from the word coming out of your mouth. Why is that word coming out of your mouth? Because that's the word that's in your heart and your inward part. Because you done made yourself a new heart and a new spirit. And you done cast away all your transgressions. So iniquity will not be your ruin. You know what I'm saying? It got to be the point, just like he said. If it's really living waters, that means it's continual. And if it's continual, that means it's enduring. Remember what we just read of last night when he said the way of transgression is hard, right? Does anybody remember what that word for hard translates to? Huh?
Right there in the mind.
I,
The mind.
no. The word, the Hebrew word. No. For hard, not hard.
Oh, that's right.
The way it transgresses is hard. It means perennial, continual. The way of transgression just continues. Remember what he told you? He told you in Nehemiah chapter 9, he said, whosoever commits sin shall live in it. So that's continual. The same way that Moses said in Leviticus 18, whosoever keep the law will live in it. That's why he say when you receive the Ruach, it's living water because that water is continual. It don't stop. See, that's the difference. If you transgress, you're going to live in transgression. If you believe on him as the scripture has said, then the word will flow and it never stops. I mean, of course this yoke is easy. The reason why it's hard for people is because niggas is worried about the wrong things. You know what I'm saying? See, come over here to Revelation 22.
Zechariah.
22 and 14. He heard you. You don't have to keep calling him. Hey. Y'all making too much noise. And I don't even know why your heads are uncovered. Abigail. Abigail. Where your head covering at? Put it on your head. Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without her dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, murderers, idolaters, and whoso love and make a lie. Let me ask you this here, right? We talked about that earlier. If somebody is participating in the dispensation of Kundalini teachings, what would they be referred to as, and what was just mentioned in verse 15? I'm talking to you about the Kundalini spirit. Should be a sorcerer. Now, what does our law tell us about that? And what he tell you don't suffer a witch to what? Can't let them live. You know what I'm saying? But my key thing is that they would be without. See, if you know the word, you can only be justified by saying what the words say. Meaning that what you say and how you live, the word is going to justify it. Like I told you the other day, dude can't tell me he a pastor and he got 5 wives. You can't tell me that because the word don't justify you. The word say a pastor can only have 1. I don't care how you try to spin it. You can say Hebrew culture all you want. You can say whatever you want. But in books, you got 5, you're not justified. I can't call you a pastor. I call you what your name is. Are you a pastor with 2? He said you can only have 1. The word don't justify you. Because how many does the chief pastor have? 1. The word don't justify you. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things you could go into. I see that dude talking about why women can't be in leadership. What about Deborah? Because that's what he looked, because he unstable. Well, like bro, we're talking about this earlier, I done told you this before. A woman can't be in no seat of leadership. She's led by her emotions. She's too mentally and emotionally unstable. You know what I'm saying? To sit and judge on a regular and consistent basis and lead people. This woman's emotions can get thrown all over the place if she get pregnant or her cycle come on or she ovulates. Come on, man. And you gonna let her lead? That's just common sense. That's no disrespect. That's not her position. She don't want that weight and that pressure no way. Nobody want that pressure. A lot of dudes don't even want the pressure to lead, and that's your natural order. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the problem come in there. Because if we're gonna do anything, we gotta be justified by this word. Y'all willing, we'll continue this along with what we've been looking at. Y'all willing on next week. Look what I get a notification for. Nick Cannon responds to Orlando Brown. I sure hope you call him alive. What I hope you do. Well, holla y'all for Yahoo Shop, man. I appreciate everybody's time. Bless everybody in the house. You in the name of Yahoo Shop, you know. We're still going into this a little bit more in depth with more. It's a lot of ways it can be tackled. But the only way you're gonna be satisfied, your belly, your inward part's gonna be satisfied is with the fruit of the word. Only way you're gonna get revenue and an increase in your lips is by the word. The only way you're gonna be justified in your sins and overcome when you judge is by the word. You can't get justified or overcome any other way. You gotta go with what the word say. Not what you think, not what you feel, but what Yahuwah say. But I bless everybody at the house. Y'all name it Yahushua. I appreciate your time. You were willing. Till the next time.
Who actually did that?